Emergence of new kingdoms in North India. This lesson is from 7th standard history, second lesson. In this lesson, we are going to see about the kingdoms of Rajputs. So Rajput states formed a collective group was called Rajputana. Chittur was the main place for all the Rajput clans. CLANS, Rajput clans. It means Rajput families. So they all had the meeting in the Chittur. Chittur was the main place for the Rajput families. The Rajputs ruled over Malwa and Gujarat. So due to that, the Chittur Raja constructed Rana. Chittur Raja's name was Rana. Rana of Chittur, what he did, he won in the war in the Malwa and Gujarat. So due to that, Chittur Raja Rana constructed a victory tower or tower of victory, which is called as Jayastamba. Jaya Jayastamba, Stambha, Stamba. This is the name of the tower of victory or victory tower. That is in the Chittur. He constructed in the Chittur. Then the Pratiharas and Palas established their powerful kingdom in the western and eastern India. Then about the Pratiharas kingdom led to the rise of the Palas and Chauhans. So there were the three important kings, Pratiharas, Palas, Chauhans. After the defeated of the Pratiharas, Palas came to the power. Then Palas were defeated by the Chauhans in India. So the main three group of the families were Pratiharas, Palas and Chauhans. Now next subtitle is Origin of the Rajputs. The word Rajput is derived from the Sanskrit word Rajputra. It means sign of the royal blood. It means sign, SCION, sign of the royal blood. It means descendants of the royal blood. Sign of the royal blood, it means descendants of the royal blood. After the death of the Harsha in AD 647, various Rajput clans established kingdoms in different parts of northern and central India. Their three principal houses are the Surya Vanshi. That is, it's based on the rays of the sun, Surya Vanshi, or the rays of the sun. Then Chandra Vanshi, it means rays of the moon, and Agni Kula, or the rays of the fire god. So these are the name of the gods they followed by the Rajputs. 36 royal Rajput clans were listed by the scholar James Todd. The name of the scholar was James, James, James Todd, Tod, Todd, in AD 1829. Said that there were 36 royal Rajput clans. Among them, 4 claimed a special status. That is, who are the 4 special status among the Rajput clans? That is Pratiharas, Chauhans, Chalukyas and Paramaras. That is, 4 main families were Pratiharas, Chauhans, Chalukyas and Paramaras. All the 4 clans were of the Agni Kula origin. That is the race of the fire god. So they believed, they worshipped the fire god. That fire god was known as Agni Kula. So these 4 families were belong to the Agni Kula origin. Now we'll see one by one about the 4 important Rajput families. Now we'll see about Pratiharas. Pratiharas are Gurjara Pratiharas, one of the important clans of the Rajputs, ruled from Gurjara in 501 to 600. That is 6th century. Then Harichandra laid the foundation of the Gurjara dynasty. So Harichandra was the founder of the Pratihara dynasty, and Nahabhatta I was the first and important ruler of the Pratiharas. So Harichandra was the founder of the Gurjara dynasty. Then Nahabhatta I was the important ruler in the Pratiharas. In the Pratihara's dynasty, there was a tripartite struggle occurred. Tripartite, that is three sides, three kings fought against with one another. So that is called as tripartite struggle. Tripartite. Tripartite struggle occurred in the Pratihara dynasty. That is the three kings like Gurjara, Rashtrakutas and Palas. So they fought with one another, and each one of them wanted to establish their supremacy over the fertile region of Kanuj. In the process, all the three powers were weakened. So finally, three of them had fell down. So this is called as tripartite struggle. Next, come to the after the Pratiharas, we are going to see about the Palas. We are going to see about the Palas dynasty. So Gopala was the founder of the Pala dynasty, but he did not have the royal status, though the people elected of the ruler of the kingdom, and he ruled from 750 to 770 AD. Then his son, Gopala's son Dharmapala, he was a powerful king in the northern Indian politics. Then he was a great patron of Buddhism. He founded the Vikramasila monastery. It means the monastery, it means the school, like school. So this in the school, the Buddhist people had get the education. We are going to see about the Chauhans. The Chauhans ruled between 956 to 1192 over the eastern parts of the present day Rajasthan. So Chauhan dynasty was the founder was Simharaji. Simharaji was the founder of Chauhan dynasty. The last Chauhan's king was Prithviraj Chauhan, and he was considered the greatest of all Chauhan rulers. Contributions of Rajputs to art and architecture. We are going to see about the contribution by the Rajputs to the art and architecture. Literature, music, dance, paintings, and fine arts and sculpture flourished. A specific style of Rajput paintings which is focusing on religious themes. Their style of painting is called Rajasthani. So they gave importance for the arts, particularly to the focusing on the religious themes. Their style is called as style of painting, which is called as Rajasthani. And this Rajasthani style of painting can be seen at Bikaner, Jodhpur, Mewar, Jaisalmer. And about architecture, the Rajputs were great builders. Architecture, it means related to constructing, building, or modifying the buildings. The Rajputs were great builders. Some of the important examples of Rajput buildings are the strong fortresses of Chittorgarh, Ranthambore, and Kumbhalgarh, all in the Rajasthan. So these are the forts: Chittorgarh, Ranthambore, and Kumbhalgarh, name of the forts which is in the Rajasthan. These are the buildings. It is the example for the architecture. Then Mandu, Gwalior, Chanderi, and Asigar, all in the Madhya Pradesh. These are all the places. So in those places, the architectural building we can see it's based on the Rajputs dynasties. The temples in Khajuraho, the Sun Temple in Konark, the Dilwara Temple constructed in Mount Abu, and Kandaria Temple at Madhya Pradesh are the examples of the architecture. So these are also the temples, Khajuraho, then Dilwara Jain Temple, Mount Abu, Kandaria Temple. All the name of the temples, these are the temples or the examples of the architectures of the Rajputs. Now we are going to see about the advent of Islam. Islam as a religious faith originated at Mecca in Arabia. The founder of Islam was Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The followers of Islam are called Muslims. The Islamic State, especially the one ruled by a single religious and political leader, was known as Caliphate. Caliph means representative of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The two early caliphates were Umayyads and Abbasids. Both the Umayyads and Abbasids worked to spread the Islam. Arab conquest of Sindh and its impact. So Arab people came to India, and after their invasion, what it happens in the country, we are going to see about it. In AD 712, Muhammad bin Qasim was the commander of Umayyad kingdom. He invaded Sindh. Qasim defeated Dahir, Dahir. Dahir was the ruler of Sindh. So Sindh ruler was defeated by Muhammad bin Qasim. Muhammad bin Qasim killed the Sindh ruler Dahir in the battle. The capital of Sindh, Arur was the capital of Sindh, was captured by Qasim. Qasim extended his conquest further into Multan. He administered Sindh. Then the Arab scholars visited Sindh and studied many Indian literary works. So Arab people came to Sindh and they learned many literary works of Indians. They translated many Sanskrit books on astronomy, philosophy, maths, and medicine into Arabic. They translated the books from like astronomy, philosophy, maths, medicine, all into Arabic language. They learnt the numerals 0 to 9 from India. Before they did not know about the numerals. Particularly about 0, they did not know about it. When they came to India, then they learnt about the Arabs people. When they came to India, they learnt about the 0. Through the Arabs, Europe gained more knowledge in maths. The importance of 0 was learnt by them from India. So Europe people got the knowledge of 0 in India. It is believed that the people in the West and the Arabs learnt the game of chess only from the Indians. So Arab people and Europeans learnt chess game from India. We are going to see about the Mahmud of Ghazni, that is Islam ruler. Muhammad is said to have conducted 17 raids to India. At that time, North India was divided into number of small kingdoms. One of them was Shahi kingdoms. Shahi kingdom. The other important kingdoms were Kanuj, Gujarat, Kashmir, Nepal, Malwa, and Bundelkhand. The initial raids were against the Shahi kingdoms, in which King Jayapala was defeated in 1001. So the Shahi kingdom was under the hands of Jayapala. Jayapala was defeated by Muhammad of Ghazni in 1001. Next, his successor, Jayapala's successor, Anandapala, fought against Muhammad, but he also was defeated in the Battle of Vaihind by Muhammad of Ghazni in 1008. As a result of his victory, that is of Muhammad of Ghazni's victory at Vayhind, Muhammad extended his rule over Punjab. So Muhammad of Ghazni, what he did? He defeated Shahi ruler Jayapala. Next Shahi kingdom's ruler was Anandapala. Anandapala also was defeated by Muhammad of Ghazni in 1080. 1008, not 88. The subsequent raids of Muhammad into India were aimed at plundering the rich temples and cities of North India. In 1011, he raided Nagarkot, Delhi, Madura, Kannauj, Multan. These are the name of the places were raided by the Muhammad of Ghazni. Muhammad of Ghazni finally captured the famous temple of Somnath, breaking the idol. Then he returned through the Sindh desert. That was his last campaign in India. Muhammad died in 1030 AD. So after captured the Somnath temple, he went to his place. And when he was traveling on the way, he killed by his one of the soldier. That in 1030 AD it happened. Now Muhammad of Ghori brought Ghazni under his control. Having made his position strong and secure at Ghazni, Muhammad turned his attention to India. That is Muhammad of Ghori or Ghori Muhammad or Muhammad Ghori. So all the same person, Muhammad Ghori or Muhammad of Ghori or Ghori Muhammad, all the same person. That is, he secured the Ghazni in his hand. Then in 1175, Muhammad of Ghori captured Multan and occupied whole of it in his continuous expedition. In 1186, he attacked Punjab and captured it. Then about the Battle of Tarain. Prithviraj Chauhan defeated Muhammad of Ghori in the Battle of Tarain near Delhi in 1191. This was the first Battle of Tarain. So in the first Battle of Tarain, Prithviraj Chauhan defeated the Muhammad of Ghori. In 1191, in the second Battle of Tarain, Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated by Muhammad of Ghori. So, to take revenge of this defeat, Muhammad made serious preparation and gathered huge army. He arrived with his large force in Lahore via Peshawar and Multan. He sent a message to Prithviraj asking him to acknowledge his supremacy and become a Muslim. But Prithviraj did not listen what was sent by Muhammad of Ghori. Many Hindu kings and chieftains also joined him. In the ensuring the second Battle of Tarain in 1192, Muhammad seriously killed Prithviraj. Finally, Prithviraj was killed by the Muhammad of Ghori. So, in the second Battle of Tarain, Muhammad of Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. The whole Chauhan kingdom was now lay at the feet of the invader. The first Muslim kingdom was thus firmly established in India at Ajmer. A new era in the history of India began. So because of the Muhammad of Ghazni and Muhammad of Ghori, the Islam developed in India.